This city has stories, and so do we. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement. Real stories, real people, real purpose, real purpose. Pull up a seat, get comfortable. Let's talk purpose, pain, growth, and everything in between. From the heart of Atlanta to wherever you are, welcome to Stool Talk. Let's walk it out in purpose together. Today with us on Stool Talk, we're honored to have a special guest here with us today. We're talking about some stuff that is really beneficial to the youth, young adults, and a lot of many people. Here on Stool Talk, we walk in our purpose, on purpose, and today's guest is definitely doing that. She has a heart after God. She's caring, she's concerned, she's loving, she's a mother. She goes above and beyond. So today we will hear from her. Today we have the one and only Miss Kielyn Thomas. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So how have things been for you? And how are you handling things? How are you feeling? How are you mentally? How's everything going?
Truthfully, I am in a season of like I mentioned before, just really trying to maintain. Um AAU season is getting ready to begin. It's actually started for my son. We haven't been traveling out, but things are gearing up, and we're still in season with our regular school ball. So just trying to wrap it up there. um my son, they won the region with Chapel Hill Middle School, and my daughter, they're getting ready to start their playoff round. So, and then with that, I help and do a lot, very involved, in both schools. And so, taking that along with personal life, trying to be a mom, take care of the house, worrying about when can I clean up my house because we're in and out. I mean, literally, I am. It's taking a lot of strength. I will be honest. Um, this past week, I was exhausted. It was just a lot of activity that went on from all angles, and yesterday was the first day that I literally was able to just sit down, you know what I mean, and rest, because my mind was, had been all over the place. Um, and with that, it was a challenge because, again, it's so much that I try to juggle. And so I have a to-do list, that I work on and that I prioritize. Okay, what do I focus on today? Let me just worry about today and not what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow. So I just like to, that's easier for me to not get overwhelmed because I have to juggle so much, you know what I mean? And then I have to, you know, make sure that my kids are doing what they're supposed to do in school. Cause that can be a lot, and then you don't know what they're holding on to, internally, personal things that they may not be speaking up about, even though I always tell my kids, hey, this is an open door.
Yeah.
Whatever you're feeling, I don't care if it's good, bad, ugly, I don't care. Let's talk about it, especially with my son, because, men were taught to be strong, and they, it's taken like, okay, I can't show weakness. I have to be strong. I have to be a provider. I can't show, my vulnerability side. And I tell them that's not true. If you need to cry, cry. Just, get that stuff out because it's unhealthy to keep it in. And so, I've been dealing with a lot of that, this week, along with myself. So, Like I said, yesterday was the first day that I was able to sit down to start releasing some of that, energy off of me. Because it's heavy. I'm talking about where I'm drinking hydration drinks, like seriously, because I feel so depleted. And today was better. I still feel a little, a little bit of it, but I'm much better today.
Yeah. What has motherhood taught you about patience, strength, and purpose?
Well, I will say this. For one, I was always the type of girl or woman that I wanted kids, right? But I couldn't see myself with them for some reason. I wanted them, but I couldn't see me because of, at the time, it was hard for me to show compassion and love because I had always walked or had to feel like I had to carry a guard up.
Yeah.
So that was a little um confusing for me. So when I did become a mom, something just naturally, it just brought it out of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think when I say, naturally make, that led me to believe, okay, it's always been inside of me. You know what I mean? And I guess it just made that side of me just come out, you
Mhm.
know. But it has taught me, being a mom has actually taught me how to love and care for others.
Mhm.
So I take that love and care, and my kids teach me a lot because I listen to them. And they don't trust and believe. They tell me how they feel. They do.
Mhm.
And I tell them it's not what you say, it's how you say it, because again, you're taught that this is, you have, this is an open door, and you have the floor. But just be respectful. Um, I'm not a perfect parent. I'm never going to be a perfect parent. I do what I can, and I parent with love. I parent with respect. I parent with an open mind. Um, I think me taking the time to um, learn my kids as individuals, because even though they're my kids, they're siblings, they're not the same people. So what works for one may or may not work for the other. So for it's easier for me to parent when I'm in tune with them as they're getting older.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and it's challenging. It's challenging because look at the world. They're growing up in a different times than when we were. Their generation is different. It's this generation saw and went through COVID. You know what I mean? Nothing like that has ever happened
Yeah.
in, like, I don't know since when. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And that was my first time experiencing something like that along with them.
Yeah.
Um, so
How
I
do you how do you protect their mental and their emotional state, even because they're in competitive environments and they play sports? How are you protecting that as far as them being a mom?
well, like I said, just always reminding them that it's okay to not be okay. First and foremost, it's okay to make mistakes. Um, Helping them, just like I said, just checking in on them, asking if they need help. Are you feeling overwhelmed? If they are, then I help map out, okay, focus on this first. Don't worry about that. It's kind of like guiding them and show, like how I do, to maintain, juggling a lot. Say, okay, is this a priority? Yes. Is this a priority? Can this wait? Yes, no. And just taking those, making your list and say, hey, checking off whatever. Now, when it comes to them being athletes and they're having to mentally prepare for games and things like that, I just tell them just focus on the game.
Yeah.
Focus on the game. Don't worry about what's going around you. Don't worry because they have to, they're listening to coaches, they're listening to refs, they're listening to spectators, you know. And one thing as a parent, what I've had to learn is, like I said, that this goes back to, learning your kid, learning your child, learning what works for them, learning what doesn't work for them, because I want them to feel like they have control. Okay. And me not taking over. You need to do this. You need to do this. And, if they have a bad game, if that's they're not best game, I tell them still good game, whatever you didn't do or want to do in this game, do it in the next. It's over with. Put it away. It's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? Now my kids, like I said, they don't I've found that they respond best when you don't push. Like I said, pushing what I think, or like I said, why did you do this? That questioning, because it's taking the fun out for them.
Yeah.
So I allow them to have that control. Even if I suggest something, it's like, hey, have you ever thought about, and that's still giving them the, you know what I'm saying? The uh just helping them leading into making decisions for themselves,
Yeah.
instead of saying you need, hey, have you ever thought, and so I just try to be there. Even though I manage a lot of things for them, I try to separate that, showing them love, giving them hugs,
Right.
giving them positive affirmations, because it's not easy. They could be feeling one way today and the next tomorrow. So, really just being in tune with them is how I help, you know, help their mentals, help them balance so they won't feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. What led you to become passionate about mental health awareness and mental health?
Through my own experiences. Um, Most of my life, like even I would say up until COVID 2020, my parents had gotten divorced when I was like 9. And that was like the turning point in my life that triggered um me putting that wall up and feeling like I had to protect myself from the world. And it made me angry. And throughout that time, I always felt like no one understood me. And I didn't know how to articulate that either. I couldn't, I just knew that I felt out of place. No one can see it. And at the same time, I'm trying to do the best I can to say, hey, I need help. But I still couldn't articulate what was wrong. Like if you asked me what was wrong, I would just say everything, everything, because it just felt like everything, little, big, small, it didn't matter. Um, and throughout the years, having kids and everything, my anxiety just grew. Um, Having OCD for one, and it's nothing. And I tell people it's nothing wrong with OCD. It's becomes a issue or a challenge when the OCD creates anxiety. When anxiety comes to place, because you have people that like to be neat, like to be organized, but they're not overwhelmed. Then you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They're not having mental breakdowns over it. They just like order, right? Well, mine came along with anxiety to the point where I couldn't concentrate on anything else. I don't care if I had doctor's appointments, whatever. I couldn't leave my house until certain things, and I put my kids through a lot because that anxiety, or, just other people around me, period, which caused mental abuse. So I had started throughout my lashing out because I was hurt and ill. I was putting that off and projecting that into my family and to others around me. And it really took a toll, an effect on my kids. And that is something that I did not realize until, and was, well, you know how but you don't want to admit, because
Yeah.
everybody viewed me as being a strong mom, this super mom, you handle it all, teen moms and all this. And I just felt like if I admitted to that, then I would be viewed as weak. You know what I mean? So I tried to cover it up. People saw me smiling and just look put together on the outside. But when I went home behind closed doors, I was a totally different person. You know what I mean? Locking myself in the closet, just trying to find peace, just trying to find comfort. And so in 2020, I remember just something happened to where my anxiety started to take a different toll on me, and it started affecting me physically. And so at my job, because I was, administration and everything, office and healthcare, we would have reps come in, they bring you full course meals and it's in your kitchen, and we're sitting at this, you just eat. And I had put on some weight or whatever, just, you know what I mean? And I remember when that anxiety started taking over me, I had lost a lot of weight. I had lost all that weight, which I wanted to anyway, but it had caused me to lose so much weight. And then at that time, I was feeling not worthy of living. I didn't want to live anymore. And so at that time, I was seeing 3 different doctors. My primary, I saw psychiatrists and therapists. So before I started therapy, I had to go through some sessions with my psychiatrist, and I had been diagnosed with OCD, anxiety, and what else did they? I can't call it eating disorder and bipolar depression. Okay, and when I heard that, I remember just going into a blank stare because I just knew it was something I couldn't argue with. So I started going through therapy and everything, and of course I had to be on medication, and that was something I being so against medication, like I'm not that was another thing why I didn't admit to it, because I had gone to therapy sessions before, but I wouldn't get past like the first or second session because they kept everybody kept saying the same thing, and I was like, I'm not taking medicine. And so I remember telling my doctor, confessing to her that I didn't want to live, and when I would lay down, the medications that I was on, I just wanted to go to sleep and rest and not have to face anything. But when anytime throughout that time, anytime I would close my eyes, whether I was going to sleep for the night or taking a nap, I would have the same dream, right? And this dream was always, I would see my mom and my kids and just family members just crying, and it was at a like a funeral, right? But I could never see vision myself, right? All I would see was crying every time the same dream. And one day I remember waking up because I kept asking, God, why? And I was battling with my faith at that point. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I was in or out. And I just kept questioning God, why me? Why me? Why me? I'm crazy. I'm crazy. And, I'm having these dreams. And I remember like I said, waking up one day and I it was like I realized why I kept having those dreams. And I realized, and I had answered my own question to why. Because I was being shown, even though I was asking a question, I was being shown. And he was telling me what those dreams meant. Those dreams, why I never saw myself and why, I would just see my mom and my kids and everyone crying is because first of all, he was showing me what I would leave behind,
Mm.
which would be a selfish act. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm not trying to be insensitive to someone who has lost a family member, by suicide, but it's a selfish act. And the answer to my question as to why I'm going through this was because I had gone through those things so that I can help other people.
Yeah.
That was my mission in life,
Yeah.
right? And once I accepted that, I started to find myself, okay? And I started to just embrace it, right? And so that led me on the path of creating and starting up my own nonprofit, which is my Mental Space Incorporated. It's a 501c3, which I work along, other nonprofits to go out and, in our community, because, in our community, we don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my mission. So we can come together as a community, get rid of that stigma, embrace, especially our youth athletes who they're in school, they have practice, they have games, they have, personal matters at home. We are responsible for teaching them and helping them come up into this world.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility.
Yeah.
They're our future.
Yeah. What would you say to some young athletes who may be dealing with a form of maybe different things, struggling with different things, or even their parents that's struggling with different things and don't know how to help? What would you say to them, and how would you handle that?
Well, first, and I've dealt with situations like that before. Um, with the athlete, it's really getting to building a rapport with the athlete. I like to get on a very personal side with them. And like I said, getting to know who they are, right? Get into so they can open up to tell me what's going on in their life. When they are having struggles at home and they're trying to, first of all, they have to know that they have somewhere and someone to go to outside that, because they have to trust you, right?
Yeah.
And I have to build that trust. And because some of them aren't getting compassion or love because the parents, are going through their own stuff. So it's not that they don't want to, it's probably that they don't know how. But they're going through, and that's something that we have to keep in mind too, because I've been there, right? Just helping that athlete understand what I just explained to you. When you're hurt, you hurt people and you can't help themselves.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is I you you have options. Talk to people like me who you can go to, who can help you figure out, how to maneuver, how to, like I do with my kids. I do the same thing with my kids. Because once they start building that rapport with you and they build the trust, they're gonna lay out, hey, I'm having a hard time here. And resources. I have resources. So if you need a tutor, okay, I can help you with that. Let's get that under control. Let me link you up with that. In the meantime, I will keep in touch. And then at that point, helping the parent is usually like the mom that I've uh, dealt with, before, but helping that mom again, because I know what it's like, because my, same situation, saying, hey, this is what, uh, I'm just gonna say her name, Lauren, you
Yeah.
know, shared with me. Um, and sometimes certain things, are kept confidential because, it just depends. And, like always, if they're if they're wanting to harm themselves or something, of course that has to be, relayed. But if normally they're wanting, to help articulate to their parent, hey, they're not listening, they're just frustrating me or whatever the case. So in that time, just simply talking to the parent again, getting to know what's going on with them so it can help peace, you know, kind of build that bridge. So okay, now the child is more understanding of what that parent is going through and knowing that it's not their fault. It's nothing that they've done. You know what I mean? And helping that parent to understand, hey, you know, although you're going through this, this is what it's doing to your child.
Yeah.
Um, and so again, we go back to resources. Okay, because sometimes it's as simple as the parent has lost their job. From experience that I had is that they're looking for a job, and I'm like, well, I can help you with that. I have the resources. You know what I mean? So it's really just it can be so simple to where we get so frustrated in our own stuff. We just get caught up in the stress of it all that we don't realize what it's doing to others. And those are the situations that I have personally run in. It can be so simple as that. And then also validating their feelings.
That's good.
I've noticed that for some reason, that just, it's like a weight off the shoulders, like literally. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel valid in how they're feeling. So really just being there for them, knowing that they have someone to talk to help, um, just really organize the thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Helping them, whether it's just writing down everything, and it doesn't have to be in a particular order. You just write your thoughts out because it's on the paper, it's out. And seeing, because some stuff we found out is not even relevant. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, do you have to do this? Do you have to worry about this? Is this,
Yeah.
it's just really having somebody there for you to see. And then if sometimes, I've recommended therapy and give them
Yeah.
the resources. It's just really, people just need resources. They
Yeah.
just need the resources and the help,
Yeah.
but they have to be willing.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that too. It's like when they're ready, they're ready. If they're not, unfortunately, I have had to, put a boundary there, to protect myself too. I have to protect my energy and everything. So I had to accept that everybody is not ready. That's
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah.
But most importantly, these kids, youth athletes, they are just really wanting somebody to listen to
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? Because there, a lot of them are always perceived as you're the problem. You're the problem. You're just acting out in school. You're the problem. That's all they hear. You know what I mean? And so helping to bring out the good in them, helping them to see the good in them, that helps, and just giving them direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as we come to the tail end of the what's three things? What is something, and what is the different things that you can provide as far as if people need resources? They're looking at what help can you be help to somebody that's in need, families, athletes, and different things like that. How can that be a help to someone who may see this video or someone who may need the resources or need help in the different things that you're talking about?
Well, you can always reach out to me because I do one on one, one on one. And from there, that helps me to kind of see what exactly they need.
Mm-hmm.
And just really just taking them by the hand, taking them by the hand, and just going from there. Because sometimes, and doing regular check-ins. I am wanting to start a group um group therapy, because I think that'll help for the youth. I'm still trying to put that together with some other people, but or some other um how should I say, partners of mine.
Yeah.
But reaching out, you can always reach out to me. We can go from there. See resources that they need. I know. Um, um, I lost my track of thought real quick. Um, what was I getting ready to say? Oh my goodness.
Think about. Let me ask you this question: how has your faith grown since all of this, and how do you continue to allow yourself to stay strengthened when you pouring so much out, when you're dealing through with so much? How do you allow your faith to be able to help you in this, and how
With
has it grown?
prayer, I
Okay.
pray a lot. I'm be honest with you, it's that simple. Um, I pray a lot through it because it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. Um, Hearing, just talking to different people and hearing what they're going through. So through, keeping my strength, I pray a lot, and I have to take it day by day. With just dealing with my issues and learning how to separate, when I am helping somebody and balancing, my personal life as well and my children.
Yeah.
So that it, it can be a challenge sometimes. So I would just really recommend people, whatever you believe in, God, positive affirmations to get you through the day. Aligning yourself with the right people, finding that community that will help and support and build you through, good and bad times. Um, and not being afraid to ask for the help.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to ask for help. That's why I say I preach to them. If this one thing I can tell the youth is it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to um to not be perfect. None of us are.
Yeah.
So me, prayer, having a faith, believing, um, taking it day by day, asking for help because I don't have to be the smartest person. That's another thing. You don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
Ask ask for the help. Get
Yeah.
it done. You don't have to be overwhelmed. It doesn't have to be stressful because we can get caught up in, and then taking a break when you need to, getting the proper rest, having the proper diet that helps too,
Yeah.
especially as athletes.
Yep, yep. And before we leave, can you give words of encouragement to the youth and to people out there who are watching?
Life is what I would like to refer to. What I like to refer to is it's like a video game. You know, you playing the video games, you have to get to different levels, right? It gets more challenging, right? As we go up, as you elevate and get higher. And so, one thing I can say throughout that, first of all, remember that God isn't going to place more on us than we can bear and what we're not ready for.
Yeah.
And as we get higher, we elevate. Even on when you're on the airplane, you get high and high. What your ears start to pop and whatever, right?
Hmm.
And then things start to smooth over, right? And through the dark storm, is building you. It's building you. You have to go through the test in life to prepare you for what's ahead, what's at that higher level. We all say we want to get to a higher level, but when we're going, we don't want to go through the tough times. So you have to remember that, okay? Through the rain and the dark clouds, what's on the other side? That rainbow.
Yeah.
That's why, again, you have to have the right people around you. Step back, youth, my youth. Step back, evaluate the people around you. What do they have going on for themselves? Are they speaking life into you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's important. Whether it's their peers or adults, you have to have someone help speaking that life into you. You know what I mean? Building your community of positivity, believing in those affirmations. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I'm going to say it again and again, asking for that help and guidance. We have to, as their the people that they look up to, we have to set that example for them as well. You know what I mean? We have to help create that space for them. All right. So just believing, um, embrace going through the hard times, read that positive affirmation, pray that prayer, whatever you believe in that's positive. Stick to it. Um, Stand strong, believe in yourself, look in the mirror, you know, when you're brushing your teeth or just standing there, whatever you're doing, tell yourself that you are worth it.
Yeah.
You're put on this earth for a reason. You matter. Everyone matters. You just have to find that purpose, but you can't find it. You know, you have to be still and be
Hmm.
quiet and listen. You have to be still. You have to. And having the right people around you is so important because you have so much, you know, going in your ear and coming at you, and the type of energy and the things that's being spoken to you, that has an effect.
Yeah.
That has an effect.
Yeah.
So just think about how you feel when you're around certain people. Are you still feeling anxiety? Are you feeling uncomfortable? Are you feeling out of place? Get to know yourself. Get
Yeah.
to know yourself. And it's okay to um like different things from, the people that you're used to. If you like, some a lot of kids like sports, some don't. Some, you don't have to um be someone you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And don't be afraid to be you. Because
Yeah.
like I tell anybody, youth, adults, it doesn't matter. You will have more people supporting you as being your authentic self than you just not accepting, um, who you are or embracing who you are, trying to fit in. And we say, well, I'm afraid everybody's not going to like you. Again, you'll have more supporters than people who don't like you. And that's okay, because again, even with that, keep in mind, everybody always has something going on. You know what I mean? So they have something going on, and just love them. And then again, just by your actions, just by being you, show them. Somebody out there can relate to you, even if it's just one person. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to help everybody. So I say again, stand strong in who you are. Do not be afraid of who you are. Do not be afraid to show who you are. Do not be afraid to um reaching the top and leaving whoever you need to leave behind. Everybody can't go with you.
Hmm.
Evaluate how you feel around the company you keep. That will tell you a lot.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, we spotlighting you for just being an amazing woman of God, being a great caring person that has a heart that wants to see the better in people, the better in the youth, and to want to use a test that you once had as a testimony into how God is using you to walk in your purpose in that area. We pray that God give you strength that you need on the rough days, that His strength be sufficient, and that He give you everything that you need to be able to be in line with what He needs, and all the right people that needs to hear from you be connected. And may your eyes be open to see what God is doing. May your ears be open to hear what He's speaking to you, giving you instruction and detail. May you have the capacity to know that in your weakness, God's strength is made whole. So when you feel down, when you feel like you're weak, just know that God has got you. Like He got you. He's doing it, and He's intentional in it. And like you said, something that stuck out. Like sometimes we move and we move and we move, but as the Bible says, "Be still and know that I am
Yeah,
God." So you being
exactly.
still and allowing Him to work, because He work even when we can't see Him. He's
Yeah,
working. Always know He's working on your
yeah.
behalf. And I just pray that favor just be a bond in your life with you and your family. So continue to keep doing it. It ain't no easy task, but you doing it,
It's
and
not.
God will get the victory out of it.
It's not. That is true. It is not. It is not. You're right. But I believe and I have the faith, and that's all I got. That's all we got. Like, is be still, be patient, and listen.
Yep, yep. There you have it.